football, and the latest NFL news, featuring Loud Esmond and Christian Giordani. Bet on us to make you a better bettor.
What?
It's time to hit the pick.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Hit the Pick. I'm your host, Christian Giordani. Alongside of me, you have Loud Esmond, co-founder of HitThePick.com. And on HitThePick.com, you get $100 free site credit just on sign up. That is HitThePick.com. Loud, how you doing today on this fine Friday?
I'm doing great because we are only 4 weeks from the start of football. A football season that is going to take us all the way through the Super Bowl. So in a month, less than a month, we are going to have football every weekend. And then on Thursday and Friday nights as well, all the way through the Super Bowl. And I will explain in a minute. But let's start with the big news for you and you are Rams fans, shall we?
Yes. I am so upset I didn't get to talk about this last week, and I want to get my grievances out of the way first with Matthew Stafford, the Rams, in the front office over there. It was hell of a dramatic last week. He got his wife got involved in it. Now, I'm not saying she shouldn't be sharing her opinion or anything, but I believe that it was just a complete clusterfuck.
Oh, okay. So you are burying the good parts of the story here.
Yes.
We don't all know what you're referring to because we're not all Rams fans.
So let's get some backstory
here. Right.
At the end of last season, the Rams and Matthew Stafford had conversations of a mutual parting. They allowed Matthew Stafford, his agent, to reach out for different teams such as the Raiders and the New York Giants.
The reason Matt Stafford was talking to the Rams is he's only making like $29.5 million a year.
Yep.
And the new level for quarterbacks is like $50 million. And there are a lot of quarterbacks that haven't accomplished nearly what he has.
No, Matthew Stafford's a champion, 2-time Pro Bowler, and he wanted to get his fair pay. At the going rate, I believed it was a fair pay. And when we got talks to Matthew Stafford going to the Giants, to the Raiders, I was panicking because we were one play away from the NFC Championship.
Okay.
And now we're going to blow it up.
And let your uncle, Lou Desmond, with 30 plus years of experience on you, tell you this. Matthew Stafford was never going to the Raiders or the Giants. Not with 2 or 3 years left in his career. He played the Raiders and the Giants and the Rams to get more money. Or his agent did. He was never... Could you imagine how dumb Matt Stafford would have to go play for the freaking Raiders or the Giants? Who the hell wants to be in New York? Right. And then you're going to play for one of the crappiest teams in the league? Literally a team that is a joke in the Las Vegas Raiders. They are every year facing the Chiefs, the Chargers, and the Broncos, who all have better coaches, better staffs, better ownership, and are 3 to 5 years ahead of them in terms of player development. I mean, he would get his you-know-what handed to him playing for the Raiders. And the Giants are like the Raiders of the East Coast. He wasn't going to one of those teams. Come on. But good for him. He used those crappy teams that would have overpaid him to get his sack. Now, what did he get in terms of money? Do we know yet?
No details have been confirmed. We do know that he has been offered the sum of anywhere from $80 to $100 million in full guaranteed money. But the details of the contract have not been released. Now, my biggest question to this...
he's going to get some more money, and he will stay with the Rams, and I believe the Rams will be very good and very competitive. And you're absolutely right. The only team that showed any chance of beating the Eagles in the playoffs was the Rams.
Yes. And this goes on to my next question for you. What does this mean for Cooper Kupp? Does he have a better chance of staying around LA and working something out? Or do you think they ship him off?
They were pretty emphatic about wanting to move him. So I don't think Cooper Kupp is going to be a Ram. I also think the Rams don't think they need him anymore. And they think, see, remember the old Patriot way? Trade the player a year before he hits his wall, not a year after, right? Because you're going to get more. You're going to get more for him. So I believe that that's the way the Rams are playing this Cooper Kupp situation. Is okay. Let's move him now while he still has some value. And they've got Puka Nacua. They've got other good receivers. The Rams have a wealth of talent, Christian.
Yes, and it's all young. They're the third youngest team in the NFL, only behind the Packers and I believe Carolina.
Yeah, no. So your Rams are in very good shape going forward, and I'm sure you're happy that they have signed Matt Stafford, and all is now happy in Rams world, right?
I had a giant sigh of relief this morning as a Rams fan. Yes, I did.
Okay, well, a giant something anyway. We don't need to share all the details. Then that begs the question, okay, Matt Stafford, that domino has now fallen in terms of, okay, Stafford is not going to be the solution for the New York Giants or for the Las Vegas Raiders. So that brings us to the teams that need quarterbacks. So let's start with the ugliest, worst deal in NFL history. And it's not Herschel Walker getting traded for the entire draft class of the Chicago Bears to the Dallas Cowboys. This is the Deshaun Watson trade. Oh, my God. Christian, has there ever been more money paid to somebody for worse results?
No, and that's not just for the NFL standards. That is in sports standards. He is the highest rated negative contract in sports history.
Karma, baby. All right. So Cleveland Browns, I believe, now remember he blew his Achilles. He has been a shell of himself ever since the scandal broke and all the sexual harassment lawsuits. And, he's just never been anywhere close to what he was for the Texans. And so the Browns have a question they have to answer, which is, what do they do with him next year? Christian, I believe the Browns this next season are about to do something we have never seen in sports history. And they are going to take one of the highest paid players in the entire league and say, you know what? Just stay home. Don't even come into the building. We don't want to see you. We'll send you your game checks. Just stay out of the building. I believe that's how they're going to play this. What do you think?
You know what? I do think Cleveland is going to move alongside Deshaun Watson, move away from him. They're owed
they can't cut him.
Yeah.
It's all guaranteed money. They can't cut him.
They can't cut. Well, they can cut him. They just have to pay him.
They can cut him, but they would still owe him the money.
It would be, if they cut him, they're going to be paying $172 million in dead cap this year and $99 million the year after.
And if they just keep him on the payroll, what does it cost them?
With bonuses and everything, it's 72.9 and 72.9 for the next 2 years.
I would not be shocked at all, Christian, if they pay him the 72.9 and he never sets foot in a Cleveland Browns facility ever again.
And just for everyone's sake, he restructured this contract in favor of the Browns. So that's with a $17 million discount.
Oh my God. Okay. So the Browns are in salary cap hell. Myles Garrett wants out. What quarterbacks do they have on their roster currently? Do they still
famous Jameis is off the roster.
He's gone.
I don't even know the other kid's name.
Okay. So you remember how the Pittsburgh Steelers got Russell Wilson and Justin Fields for nothing?
Yep.
I believe the Atlanta Falcons are going to release Kirk Cousins, which means the Browns could pick up Kirk Cousins and pay him nothing because he's being paid $40 million.
Now, is that the move you really want to make? You're moving on from a guy who's old and washed up to a guy who's old and washed up?
They don't have a high enough draft pick and it's a crappy quarterback class.
They have the second pick.
Okay, so somebody is taking Cam Ward. Do you want Shedeur Sanders is the question.
No, but I think Quinn Ewers is a good enough quarterback. Not good enough to turn around the Browns organization. No, not right away.
Well, that's gonna be very interesting. If I am the general manager of the Cleveland Browns, given how bad the Browns are and the fact that they're in salary cap hell for at least 2 more years, I am trading Myles Garrett to whoever is willing to pay the most in terms of draft picks. And I'm bringing in Kirk Cousins for next to nothing for the next 2 years. Because I believe the Browns are not competitive in that division for at least 2 or 3 years. They have so many needs. Tell me who the top 3 players on the Cleveland Browns are.
Myles Garrett, Nick
Myles
Chubb,
Garrett's not
Denzel
going to
Ward.
be there. No, Myles Garrett's not going to be there. Take him off the
Nick
board.
Chubb,
Okay,
Denzel
he's
Ward.
got a decent running back. Nick Chubb doesn't blow my skirt up.
Denzel Ward, and Jerry Jeudy.
That's it. And Jerry Jeudy is not great. Look how bad that team is. Okay, so if I'm the GM of any bottom feeder team, Browns, Raiders, Giants, you know what I'm doing? I'm trading the best pieces that I have away. And I am hoarding draft picks. And the next 2 years, I'm going into the draft with 15 draft picks. You know, I mean, 2 in the top round, 2 in the second, and then a load of them in 4, 5, and 6. And that's how you have to build a team in the NFL currently. You can't do it. It's so expensive. You can't do it through free agency.
No, you can't pay everyone.
No, I think Kirk Cousins to the Browns actually, or Kirk Cousins to the Raiders.
Yeah, I don't hate that either.
I mean, just if you suck out loud as a franchise, are the Raiders winning a Super Bowl anytime in the next 5 years?
No.
No. Are the Browns?
Definitely not.
Then who are you kidding? Bring in Kirk Cousins, who is a decent quarterback, who you don't have to pay anything. And the Raiders have $97.5 million available under the cap right now before they cut Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell and Desmond Ridder all after March 1st. And they'll have $130 million available in cap space. Now that's a move I could see. Cut all those quarterbacks, bring in Captain Kirk, who you're paying nothing, and draft Ashton Genty.
Yeah, it's a pretty good formula. It just, I don't know. I don't see any effort in just having placeholder quarterbacks. As long as you have a guy who could be generational, I think you have to take a chance on it.
All right, so who's generational in this quarterback class?
I think Cam Ward has the potential to be.
And the Raiders get him.
The Raiders are currently they sit at the 6th pick.
Yep, they're not getting him.
Quinn Ewers, a guy who I think goes to the Raiders realistically and got a hell of an arm.
I wouldn't take Quinn Ewers until the 4th round. I think he's a project.
What about Jackson Dart?
No.
Jalen Milrose?
Nope. Honestly, to me, Shedeur Sanders and Cam Ward aren't even first-round draft pick quarterbacks either. I just don't. This quarterback class sucks. I think it's, what was his name? Forrest Gump. It's a box of chocolates with these quarterbacks, right? Do I trust Shedeur Sanders? No, I don't, because of the crappy he beat up on crappy competition, and when he played good teams, he lost. Cam Ward. Yeah, Miami Hurricanes. Am I impressed by what they did? Not really. He's a nice quarterback. I think some teams are giving up on quarterbacks too fast. I think the Titans and Will Levis, I think it'd be a mistake to move on from him immediately.
I disagree. I think Will Levis is a bust.
Again, this is why we do these shows. I don't think so. Justin Fields, Pittsburgh Steelers, bust.
He won
done,
4.
Right?
He won 4 out of the 5 games he started. I think he gets another shot somewhere else.
Okay. Anyway, so there's just not a great quarterback class. I personally, if I'm a GM of a crappy team, I am selling my 1st and 2nd round draft picks. If I'm the Raiders, I'm moving Devontae Adams in a trade. I am moving Myles Garrett in a trade. If I'm the Browns, I am bringing in a bunch of draft picks over the next 2 years, and I think that's how you successfully build an NFL football team. I don't think you can do it through free agency. Just me. Now, for everybody who has been hating on Derek Carr and the Saints, there you go. There's the Derek Carr mention.
Yep.
Everybody is saying how Derek Carr is going to be traded. Derek Carr is going here. Derek Carr is going there. I think Derek Carr has been matched with every team in the NFL except for like 10. And he's not going to be with the Saints. Guess what the GM and the coach just came out and said?
That Spencer Rattler is going to be the everyday starter?
No, Derek Carr's the quarterback.
Oh. So they're not trading away Derek Carr?
Nope. They both came out and could have been more unified and more emphatic. Derek Carr is our quarterback. That's it. And so all this speculation has been so stupid. Now, do I believe the Saints are going to be successful over the next 2 years? Nope. I feel bad for Derek Carr. I think he's on a team that with Drew Brees, they paid a lot of people too much to try to get that next Super Bowl with him, and they couldn't get there. And now they're in salary cap hell, and they got a bunch of overpaid veterans. And I think they're going to have to let go of some pieces. And Derek Carr, unfortunately, will probably end up finishing his career with a crappy team like the Raiders or the Giants, because when he's done with New Orleans in 2 years, he's not going to be old enough to quit playing, and he's going to want to keep going, and he's going to end up a journeyman quarterback on some crappy teams. That's the way it's going to go. Now, another quarterback that has completely blown up their narrative, Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. I was really scared. I was really scared when I saw the rumors that he was going to go to the Rams.
Never going to happen. The Jets basically told Aaron Rodgers, don't let the door hit you, you know where on the way out. Kind of like Trump did to Zelensky today. So where does Aaron Rodgers end up? Where do you think?
I really want to joke around and say Minnesota, but I think he's out of the league. I think he's done.
There are so many teams that need quarterbacks, dude.
It's not that he's not a usable quarterback or he's not a name that will put seats. It's just
the New York Giants.
It's just he brings so much drama with him. I don't think any team wants to deal with it.
Yeah, that's the problem there. I see.
This is why I will say Aaron Rodgers put up more touchdowns, more passing yards, and less interceptions than my quarterback, Matthew Stafford. He was a very usable quarterback. It is the drama and the media that follows Aaron Rodgers. That's the reason no one wants him.
All right. Good enough. Let's talk about Major Arena Soccer League picks for the weekend quickly, since we are a betting show. Utica City Football Club tonight is at the St. Louis Ambush. Oh, that game's probably started. Damn it. Well, just so everybody knows, I'll finish this out. The Ambush traded away their best player, Frank Tayu, earlier in the week. Tayu is used to winning and being on good teams, and he came over to Utica and got paid, and they haven't been winning, and he's been a pain in the locker room. So he's been released, traded away. So the Ambush traded away their best player. I like Utica City plus 153 on just the money line in that game. I'm not even messing with them getting any points. The San Diego Sockers have to win to stay in the top two and get a bye for the playoffs, which are coming up in 2 weeks. I like the Sockers plus 150 on the money line in that game. And then the Harrisburg Heat, by the way, love their mascot, the Scorch. Harrisburg Heat plus 5.5 goals and still plus 107. That makes no sense to me. You're giving me 5.5 goals and I'm getting plus money? Yeah, I'll take that all day long. And Harrisburg over 4.5 goals in the game. So that's my MASL betting right there. By the way, the United Football League, they start the last weekend in March. The great thing about the UFL this year, they're playing Friday night games. 5 o'clock Pacific, 8 o'clock Eastern. There will be a game, football, for the MASL. Friday nights, and then Saturday you get a game. On Sunday you get 2. So think about this. Football starts the last weekend in March. Now, the UFL championship is around the last weekend in June. The first weekend in June, Canadian football starts. And they go through September. NFL preseason starts the second week of August, and college football starts the last weekend of August. And the Super Bowl is the first week of February. So literally, Christian, a month from now, we will have football every weekend, whether UFL, Canadian football, college, or NFL, from the last weekend in March to the first week in February. How damn is awesome.
God bless America.
No, America, Canada.
And a part of Canada, yeah.
Love it. How cool is that?
It's great, for guys who are football fanatics. I'm a 3-sport guy. I'll watch anything, but guys like you who are football fanatics, it's amazing. You have, NFL season goes around, you feel like a widower, and now you have UFL to look forward to in Canadian Football League as well.
And it's like I'm born again. I mean, we do have hockey that I handicap some hockey, and I love hockey. But man, I got to tell you, Christian, there is no sport on television like football.
Completely agree.
Football is the television sport of all time. The most exciting live sport to me is horse racing.
Never been.
Dude, okay. I am going to take you to Santa Anita on a Saturday afternoon coming up this summer. You and me will go to the horse races. Dude, there is nothing like when a bunch of horses are coming around the third pole at Santa Anita and they're tightly bunched and there's
1 minute. 1 minute.
You've never heard anything like it. You'll love it. Lou,
It's a plan. Loud
All right.
Esmond has been amazing with us today. He's the co-founder of hitthepick.com. Make sure to go to hitthepick.com. You get $100 in free site credit just for signing up. That is hitthepick.com. I'm Christian Giordani. Thank you, everyone, for listening. We'll see you guys next